Welcome back to a brand new video. We've got a treat today. We're down at the Mere Golf Academy with Jordan Massey, and we're going to talk about eye position and putting, because I've had a lesson and this was massive for me to hold some putts. So what are we talking about here? Eye position, how important is it?
So when we saw you a few weeks back and we looked at the tendencies you showed in the lesson,
Yeah.
your aim was something that you were struggling with, which was then influencing your stroke in a way that caused you to manipulate the putter.
Yeah.
So that normally, or quite often, is directly linked to the way someone's eyes are positioned over the ball. So there's a lot of common sort of misconceptions out there about where your eyes should be when you're over the golf ball. Probably the most common one, which we talked about, that you probably heard, was that your eyes had to be directly over the ball.
But funny enough, I was the opposite to this, wasn't I?
Yeah, so, but everyone thinks that, and you hear it a lot on TV, but once you've got a putting mirror, you can obviously go away and work on this, and this drill that we've got today is going to be a really easy way for you to go away and fix it yourself at home. The eye position is determined by what you see as an individual.
Okay.
So there's no right or wrong, there's no one position. For some people, their eyes will be directly over the ball, but that is completely dependent on what they see, and this drill will allow them to find that position and then train it and work on it, which should then hopefully reduce the need for any manipulation in the stroke.
Okay, so how are we setting this up? So if you're watching right now, you really need to just have a go with this, because it's something that I was very lazy with, and it basically forced me to have a bad stroke because of my perception of where I was aiming.
Yeah.
So we've got a mirror here. Do they have to have a mirror to do this?
Ideally, yes. I would definitely recommend it. You can get them from Amazon for about £10.
Okay.
So they're a cheap and definitely a very effective tool that I would definitely recommend anybody has in their golf bag.
Okay, and then we've got an alignment stick.
Yeah, so the way you're going to set this up, you're going to have the mirror on the ground. There's normally at least one line on the mirror through the center at the back here, like this one. This larger one from Vizio has two lines, so on either side, which is going to help you be able to look at your shoulder line. You can also put some tees in here for gate drills. So this one's quite versatile, but they all are useful for this drill and to also just calibrate your setup generally. Yeah. So you're going to point that center line directly at the hole. So even if you're on a putt with a little bit of break, just point it straight at the center of the hole. And then you're going to put the alignment stick so that's pointing straight into the center of the hole as well. Now, if you address that alignment stick as if you're going to hit a putt from the center of the mirror.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember from a few weeks back, you were in a position where your eyes were too far inside the ball. You were very far away from it.
Yeah, so when I'm looking over this putting mirror now, I literally couldn't see my eyes at all.
Yeah, exactly. So if you go into a position now for me, based on what we did a few weeks ago, so once you've trained yourself and you've got your eyes in the position that you know they need to be in, you can get onto the mirror, find your eye position, then when you look down that stick should be pointing straight into the center of the hole.
Yeah. And
if you go back to where you were initially now, if you go way back, now where does that stick look like it's pointing to you now?
Well, yeah, it's difficult because I know it looked like it was pointing way right.
Yeah, exactly. So what we saw for Alex before was he felt the alignment stick was pointing right when he was here. Now what he ended up doing in his stroke as a consequence of this was he aimed the putter to the left, but he was thinking that was aiming in the center, and then he would fan the putter face open to try and start the ball on line, but that was obviously difficult for you to do consistently.
Yeah.
Once we fixed his eye position, we could then start to adjust other aspects of the setup in order for him to start the ball on line more consistently. And most of you will find that once you've got the eyes in the right place for you, the manipulation will be reduced pretty much from the beginning, because you don't need to react in the same way.
Yeah.
So before you even look at the stroke, this can have a massive impact on how you can start the ball on line more effectively.
I think if people bringing this to life for people, it's like where you look at a slicer, right? They don't realise how far left they're aiming until someone makes you aware of it, but then you manipulate your stroke even more to get that ball to curve back to target. I was literally doing that. I had the perception of aiming far too much off to the right, so then I'd aim further left and then I'd be blocking it all the way into the hole.
Because you had to open the face because you'd aimed left, but you didn't feel you were aimed left until I showed you. But that's the beauty of this drill. You don't need to necessarily, have a coach there behind you for this. I give this to everybody I teach to go away and work on. And then once they know where that position is, they can take the alignment stick away, which we can do now. If we take that away for a second there, and I just aim this a little bit more to the right because this has got a little bit of break. Now you'll be able to calibrate your setup so you know where your eyes need to be on that mirror.
Yeah.
And then you can try and hit some putts from there.
It's mad, like I went out the day after we did that lesson and I putted really nicely, but just felt like it was not happening naturally because I had my eye position. So nice and simple here. This drill is all about improving your eye position. Get a mirror, we recommend that. Definitely. Get an alignment stick, aim it towards the center of the hole and work out where you feel that alignment stick is aiming for you. And we just say it nice and simply, like, until that alignment stick feels like it's aiming at the middle of the hole in your perception, just play around with your eye line until it happens. Yeah,
so you can do anything from obviously moving closer and further away. That may be sometimes changing your posture from your waist, from sort of bending forward, lifting up, and also even from a point of tilting your neck. You can tilt your head and your neck to the side slightly. So it doesn't always have to be that you're just closer and further away. You can manipulate the position of your neck slightly and tilt. Whenever you're doing this though, make sure it's comfortable. You've got to feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable over the golf ball, it's not going to work. So you have to be comfortable. Nice, good putt.
And there we go.
Very good.
Jordan, thanks so much for that.
No problem.
Appreciate that. Guys, this is the May Golf Academy. Brilliant setup down here. Have a look at the indoor room because I was lucky enough to have my lesson in there and it was absolutely class. Hope you enjoyed that video. That is #1 on this putting story. We've got another video coming next week from Jordan here at May. That's going to be all about putting too.